Hello and welcome back to Market House, the podcast where we talk pretty much all things Disney. My name is Caleb and I am your host for this wacky show. It is October. I can't believe it. We are already here in the spooky season. The weather's starting to cool down a little bit. Again, we're in NorCal, so still hitting 90 degrees somehow, but then the next day it can't decide what it wants to be. One day is 92 degrees, the next day it's 78. So I'm not complaining. I'm glad we're getting some cooler weather because I prefer the cold over the heat. I'm so glad summer's over. But again, happy fall, happy October. You know, we're busting out the fall candles. I don't know about you guys, but we've got the fall candles out. We've got our Halloween movie schedule laid out. And you know, actually before I got married, I wasn't into Halloween that much. It was actually by far my least favorite holiday, but my wife, it was one of her favorites. So I am a recent convert to the Halloween fandom. She makes it exciting. We decorate the house. We watch some good movies. She introduced me to actually some decent scary movies. You know how like most scary movies are terrible and there's no story. It's just bad, you know, it's like, they got like the B-level actors and it's just bad. So she's introduced me some decent scary stuff. So I'm a fan now. I will admit I was not before, but I'm definitely a fan now. And actually, speaking of films, we just finished a new miniseries. It just came out on Netflix called Midnight Mass. And it's actually from the same guy that created The Haunting of Hill House. So I know many people know what that is, but holy smokes, that show is jacked up. This Midnight Mass one like messed with my head. It spooked me out. So like, it's weird. So if you're into weird stuff, you're into spooky stuff, you like Halloween, give that a watch. It's like 7 episodes. It's a miniseries, so it doesn't command too much time, but it messed me up. So in a good way, it was fun, but not for kids. Definitely not for children. So kids, watch something else while mom and dad are watching that. But you know what is for kids? Disney. So let's go ahead and talk Disney news. All right, and our first story is one that I know everyone has been just holding their breath over. Everyone's worried that Scarlett Johansson is not going to get paid what she is due. I've lost sleep over this. I've just been like, oh my gosh, is Scarlett going to make her next mortgage payment? I'm just kidding. But, all joking aside, it looks like Disney and Scarlett Johansson have resolved their dispute over the Black Widow profit sharing. So if you have, if you've been living under a rock, you won't know what this is, but it's been all over the news. Scarlett Johansson and her team sues Disney over the amount of money that she received so basically her pay package for Black Widow. Now, normally how stars get paid, pre-pandemic was, you get an upfront, payment. So for folks like her, right, kind of like giant movie stars, 15, 20 million bucks per movie upfront. And then you get profit sharing. So at the back end, you get a percentage of the profits that the movie made in theater, right? The theater run. So, Black Widow, as many of you know, was released on Disney Plus. Didn't go to movies, it released both on Disney Plus and the theater at the same time. So her team is arguing that, hey, Scarlett missed out on some profits and some money because Disney Plus cannibalized some of the theater business. So they're arguing, her payout's going to be less because you guys, without talking to us first and agreeing on terms, you guys released it at the same time on Disney Plus. So it's going to eat into, the revenue of the theater release. So they sue and Disney defends themselves saying, how dare you, Scarlett, want more money? We already fronted you $20 million. We just went through a pandemic. And then the tune changed pretty quick when they got into kind of back and forth stuff. So it looks like they came to a resolution. Looks like she's going to get paid north of $40 million for one movie. Good Lord. I went to the wrong business, man. I need to be a movie star. But so they resolved it. I think this is a good indication of what's going to come. I think Emma Stone might have gotten into some of that as well, and I think they kind of resolved it before it turned into a lawsuit. I think they maybe wrote a check and sent it to Emma Stone before she got upset over the Cruella release, because they did the same thing to her without, agreeing on terms before. So anyways, everyone can sleep now. Disney is still alive and well. They're, $20 million poorer, and now Scarlett's $20 million richer. The world continues to spin. So it's resolved. Let's go ahead and focus on some other matters here. And, we'll move on from the celebrity pay package conflict. Next up, I have some release/opening dates for TV shows and rides. Upcoming Disney shows and rides coming up. So let's go down the list here and talk what's coming up in the next year or so. We've got the Muppets Haunted Mansion special that comes up on October 8th on Disney Plus, and I cannot be more excited. I love the Muppets. I grew up on the Muppets. The Muppets Go to Space. Is that the title? It's a tongue twister, but grew up on that movie. It's hilarious, right? So I can't wait to see this. It's like a haunted, they're in the Haunted Mansion. I think Will Arnett's in this. There's a bunch of celebrity cameos. I think it's going to be all fun. Even if you don't like the Muppets, watch it for, I guess, your favorite celebrities, see if they pop up. But I think this is going to be an exciting one, and I can't wait to watch it. I'll be watching it the night it comes out. And next up, another show that has a release date is The Book of Boba Fett. This is the long-awaited, not really sequel to The Mandalorian, more of a spin-off, but if you follow The Mandalorian, you'll know it's season 2. At the end of it, some stuff happens. I'm not going to spoil it, but this kind of opens up the door for this show, which is called The Book of Boba Fett. This comes out on December 29th, releasing on Disney Plus. So something to look forward to around Christmas time. It's a Christmas gift from Disney in the form of a new TV show. So can't wait for this as well. Looks amazing. Total fan of The Mandalorian, so I'm hoping for the same quality / story out of this show. Next 2 announcements are park related. We've got Guardians of the Galaxy Cosmic Rewind, the new ride opening in Epcot. It's a kind of a vague announcement, but they said it's coming in 2022. So we can look forward to another ride coming out in 2022. Don't know when, but this is news because of this. There were rumors that they were going to hold on to either Guardians of the Galaxy or Tron until 23. So again, that's just purely rumor. It's not confirmed, but it's kind of going around that they might delay one of these rides to kind of spread out the good news or spread out the fun, to kind of give you another reason to visit the park. They don't want to, put it out all in one year and then that fizzles out right into 23 and maybe crowds reduce. So again, purely rumor. They both might open up next year, but it looks like Guardians of the Galaxy is opening up in 22. We have not heard anything for Tron yet, so hoping that more details come out soon, because I cannot wait to ride that ride. I've seen all the videos from in Shanghai, so can't wait for Disney World to get that. And the final release date or opening date is for Star Wars Galactic Star Cruiser. That is a new hotel, the very themed hotel experience in Disney World, and that is set to open on March 1st, 2022. So that is coming up. What is that, like 6 months away or so, right? Yeah. So general bookings for this themed experience will start on October 28th, 2021. So you can actually get your reservations started at the end of this month. And it looks like DVC members, Disney Pass holders, and Disney Visa card members will receive a special booking opportunity in the coming weeks. So it looks like they might get, in usual Disney fashion, they'll probably open it up a few days before for those folks. So they'll get a head start for a few days, and then it looks like general bookings start October 28th. So yeah, check out the Disney Parks blog for kind of behind the scenes if you want to kind of get a sneak peek of this experience. I know a lot of folks already know about this, but this thing looks crazy. It's also crazy expensive, so the price tag matches the experience. But yeah, if I win the lottery, we'll totally do this, because I think for like 2 people, it's like, if I'm remembering correctly, it's like $3,000, I think, for 2 people. It's a 2-night experience. So yeah, it is uber expensive, but it also looks pretty cool, especially for Star Wars fans. You get to nerd out, and like you can be in full costume walking around, and they've got like characters walking around, talking different languages, like an alien language, and then you can like order a drink from an alien. And it looks amazing, but also super expensive. So again, another reason to save your pennies, make some good investments, and maybe you can book your next stay at the Star Wars Galactic Star Cruiser. All right, and that brings us to this episode's kind of main topic, main story, and that is the Disney World's 50th anniversary. This officially started on October 1st, so by the time this episode comes out, it's been going on for a few days, and yeah, they're labeling it the world's most magical celebration. So again, high praise for themselves. You be the judge of that, folks, if this is the world's most magical celebration. If you can't, go in person, don't worry about it. You can totally catch all the different things they changed for the celebration on YouTube, and kind of follow the usual suspects, the Disney vloggers and the Instagram folks, to kind of see what's going on in the parks. But the sweet thing is they're giving you 18 whole months to experience this celebration. So if you can't make it out in, the birthday month of October for Disney World, you've got a whole 18 months to get out there and check out the festivities for yourself. So that's actually kind of what we plan on doing. We originally weren't super interested in, making the trek out to Disney World ourselves for this, but now knowing that it's 18 months long and kind of seeing what's going on with the celebration, we're kind of interested now. So maybe we'll sneak out there at some point to check it out. But let's go ahead and kind of talk about the different aspects we've seen so far. And again, this is kind of one giant spoiler alert. So if you've got a trip coming up and you want all of the 50th celebration stuff kind of new and fresh and unspoiled, then maybe skip this episode, because we're going to go to kind of talking about details. So what I've seen, kind of a warning or a disclaimer, what I've seen, I haven't seen it firsthand. This is all through Instagram, Twitter, YouTube. This is how we've been experiencing it at home so far. But yeah, haven't seen it in person yet, but that's in the plans. But yeah, let's kind of go over the pros first, the things that I think are either cool or unoffensive. And then maybe we can cover what maybe is a little less than stellar towards the end of the episode. But first off, the decorations. The park looks absolutely amazing. The castle looks amazing. The 50th kind of color palette, the color scheme they chose is really, really cool. It's like gold and blue and like these pastel. I don't even know how to explain it. It looks amazing. Yeah, the merch, the characters, everything about it. So the color, of course, the theme goes through all of those things. So everything looks really cool right now. And of course, everything is touched up. So the paint on the castle, the decorations on Main Street, it's looking its best. It looks like it just looks absolutely amazing. So the look of the park, absolutely no complaints there. It looks amazing. The food and drink items that are available, that looks fun, right? No complaints there. Everyone knows Disney. They're amazing at providing exclusive either dining or food or merch sales around these times. That looks fun too. There's plenty of choices and plenty of opportunities to take advantage of those exclusive, merch things and opportunities. So you can see these for yourself on Instagram. Go to the usual channels or whatever, the Disney Parks blog, the Disney World website. You can totally see a lot of the stuff there. And they announced a new item. I was trying to think of a specific way of saying it, but they announced a new thing you can purchase. Of course, Disney with their, a million opportunities to spend money, but they have a new Magic Band called Magic Band Plus. And this is going to be available at some point in 2022. It kind of looks like from the messaging and the samples they used, it looks like it was supposed to be announced and out for the 50th anniversary of the celebration, but it looks like it got delayed. So they kind of teased it. It's essentially a Magic Band with just a few more features that enhances your experience. So that's one thing I don't mind about this, is that it is a costlier option. You don't need a Magic Band, but if you want one, you can spend the money on one, and it unlocks a few different things, but it's not like life-changing to where if you don't have it, you're going to miss out on great opportunities or experiences in the park. So it looks like it's very minimal. So they've got these 50th anniversary like character statues all over the park. So right now in Magic Kingdom, you can go through and there's these gold statues of like Tigger or Winnie the Pooh or Mickey Mouse. And you can walk up to these things. And if you have the Magic Band Plus, you can walk up and it's going to like buzz on your arm, and then it notifies your phone for a special experience. I don't know. It sounds super kind of involved. So they don't even know, I think, what's all coming out in it, because I've seen some people ask them questions and they just keep going, just wait and see. We'll have more details next year. So there's that. It lights up during shows. I don't know if anyone cares if their watch is lighting up or their Magic Band's lighting it up down on their wrist during a show. I don't know. I think it looks okay for kids. Maybe it's pretty exciting, but I don't know if any adults would want to spend the extra money on this item. It sounds like it's pretty minimal in terms of features, but anyways, that's coming out. That's part of the 50th. But more details are supposed to come pretty soon. And another cool thing they're doing for the 50th is they have made all of the kind of iconic buildings in each park they're called Beacons of Magic. So let me read what they said here. The world's most magical celebration will light up with wonder as the theme park icons are transformed into beacons of magic, beckoning all to come and celebrate. Now, what Beacons of Magic means is they just totally decorated essentially every single icon in each park. So they look amazing. So like the Epcot ball, right? They've got these LEDs all over the ball and they can change colors, and it's part of the show, I think, the new show over there, and Harmonious. And so it lights up with that, and it looks absolutely amazing. So that's really cool. We've got, the Magic King, the castle, of course, Cinderella's castle. That's all decorated and glows, and they've got like a light show on there. You've got the Hollywood Tower Hotel in Hollywood Studios, and the Tree of Life over in Animal Kingdom. So a warm and glorious light emanates from the Tree of Life as enchanted fireflies gather to call forth the magic of nature. And Hollywood Studios, you've got the iconic Hollywood Tower Hotel, glitters with iridescence. Oh, I see what they did there. Not IRR, but they got EAR for iridescence. How clever. Evoking the glimmer and shimmer of the golden age of imagination and adventure. At Epcot, you've got light shine from within Spaceship Earth's reflective panels as stardust emerges to symbolize beacons of possibility and optimism. And at Magic Kingdom, Cinderella Castle illuminates the park with a dazzling glow that sparkles with pixie dust. I don't know why I said it with pixie dust. But yeah, anyways, it looks great. No complaints there. Just some kind of reimagined decorations on each of the icons. So this brings us to kind of the less than stellar, less than great aspects of the 50th celebration. That is the shows. The new shows for both Magic Kingdom, Epcot, and Animal Kingdom. You've got Disney Enchantment, which is the new fireworks show in Magic Kingdom, Disney Harmonious, the new nighttime show in Epcot, and Disney Kite Tales, show in Animal Kingdom. And all three of these are not receiving the best reviews. Twitter was absolutely going berserk on the premiere of all of these shows. and not in the best way possible. So let's start with the fireworks show, Disney Enchantment. This was kind of premiered right after an event with Bob Chapek and Bob Iger, right? So Bob Chapek's the new CEO. Bob Iger is the executive chairman, former CEO. And it looks like I think Iger is stepping down at the end of this year. He will no longer have really any involvement with the Disney company. And of course, Disney legend Christina Aguilera was there. I think she was like on, now Disney legend, I don't know what that connection is. I think it's from, she was on the Mickey Mouse, what is it called? Mickey Mouse Clubhouse? I don't know. She was on a show back in the 80s, I think, on the Disney Channel or 90s. But, you know, Christina Aguilera was there, of course. And they premiered Disney Enchantment right after they clicked this button and said, you know, happy birthday, click, and then Enchantment started. And yeah, it's like, it's okay, right? It's not, this is the least bad. Of all the new shows, this is the one that's like decent, right? I'd give it a solid like 5 out of 10. And yeah, it's just the music choices it's kind of weird. There's really no storyline, you know, all the Disney fireworks, and we talked about this actually last episode, they all have some kind of story, right? It's about, you know, hope or imagination, and they kind of blend that all the way through. And then at the end, there's this really heartfelt message about how we're all going to get through life together and it's beautiful. And just, if you just dream, anything can happen. And then boom. And, you know, Walt's face comes up on the castle and everyone starts crying. And then you go buy merch and then head home. This one is just, it felt super copy paste, like almost like they were rushing to get it done. I don't know. It's okay. It's decent. So definitely my least favorite in recent fireworks memory. Nothing, it's kind of a see it once and you're good, right? Now this brings us to Disney Harmonious, and this is the new Epcot show. And this one is the same. It's just super weird creative choices. Like they've got these giant barges. If you've been to Epcot or seen pictures of it in the last year, essentially, you'll see these giant, almost flower petal shaped floating LED screens, essentially, out in the middle of the water in the lake there. And they're a giant eyesore. During the day, you can't even look across the park anymore and see, you know, different parts of World Showcase because it's blocked by these giant barges. And they kept saying it's for this new show coming out. It's going to be worth it. And the show premieres, and it is, again, super underwhelming. And during the show, they're displaying animations on these screens, and it's very weird art style. It's not the actual movies themselves. It's just these kind of almost static images. Like they don't need to be there, I guess is what I'm trying to say. They don't really enhance the show at all. So it feels like this giant eyesore is for nothing. And yeah, I don't know. I don't know if I'll get into that later, but that's what I'll say for now. It's just, again, music wise, they're just kind of like, okay, it's all right. I think they're trying to show the, how am I trying to say this? Like the international aspect of Epcot, right? You've got all these different, countries represented in this park, and they're essentially just singing Disney songs in different languages, which is cool, but it just kind of seems like a half-hearted attempt. I don't know. I think they could have put a legit storyline behind the show, and I don't know. I think it's kind of just a cheap, and it just sounds so negative, but I don't know. It's a lot of money sunk into something and a lot of ugliness with the show items that are floating out there, just for it to be this kind of like, meh, it was okay. So again, I know I'm not the only one. Twitter was not happy. Even the YouTube vloggers had some opinions on it. It's definitely not the internet's favorite show. And then finally, Kite Tales. This thing just, I think, premiered. I don't know if it's officially out yet, but they might have done like a media preview. I'm not sure, but just the concept, I think, will turn people off immediately. But it is essentially a bunch of kites attached to jet skis being driven through a body of water, and then cast members on the ground in the theater, in the amphitheater, just holding these like poles up with the characters in like kite form and shaking them around, and there's music. But yeah, it's going as well as you'd imagine. The kites barely work. They're floating all around and like dragging in the water. They're falling over when they shouldn't be. It is so weird. Yeah, I'm so surprised that this got greenlit and that money was invested in this thing, but it feels like a high school production. Like it's very low budget. It doesn't make any sense. It barely works. And yeah, it's bad. So again, this is what it brings me. I don't like being this negative, but it feels like I kind of have to be because of the recent decisions Disney's been making. And again, usually I just be like, whatever, it is what it is. It always improves, but like, it's a little frustrating right now because these families, us included, we pay a premium, a big one at that, right? You can either go to, right? There's nothing wrong with the Six Flags vacation, right? You can do that for X amount of money in most parts of the country, right? Everyone's got a Six Flags around them, I think. And that's at a certain price point, right? And then you can go, okay, we're going to splurge this year and go check out Universal or Disney, right? Those are kind of the next tier of experience. And it feels like we're getting Six Flags experiences or Six Flags level service or whatever you want to call it. A level product. And we're spending a premium, right? So it feels like I'm getting a Honda when I'm paying for a Mercedes or BMW. So it's frustrating because, again, a lot of people spend a lot of money. These people can only go, most people can go to Disney once a year, right? Families I know, they save up and you go once. That's your big family trip. And when they're putting stuff out like this, kind of half-hearted budget cut experiences, you feel that. And then you kind of walk away going, ugh, I paid how much for this? Or, and even remove the cost from it, just go kind of like the Disney pride, right? The Disney experience. Everyone knows, Disney prides themselves on being, we're Disney. Gosh dang it. And we produce some of the best movies, TV shows, guest experiences. I mean, hands down in the world, right? They pride themselves on their ability to do that. And I think the last few months, people have been feeling the cost-cutting measures that the company's taken. And this is just one example of that. The recent shows that have been released have been less than good. And that's a bummer because I, and like many of you, experienced the best of Disney not too long ago. And I understand COVID-19 affected a lot of companies negatively, and right, that affects the bottom line. And at the end of the day, Disney needs to make money, right? They need to return value to their shareholders, and that's their job as a publicly traded company. I understand that. That sounds very sterile. I understand, and corporate, but that's the reality. It's not magic, right? Mickey Mouse isn't sitting there in the boardroom going, we need to bring magic to these children. It doesn't work that way. It's a bunch of executives and trying to make money. And that's just the gist of it. But it would be appreciated on the park side of things if we got some higher quality things because we're paying for it. And this isn't cheap. So again, that's my rant. I apologize. These have been so gosh darn negative. But again, it's a weird, funky time for Disney right now, post-COVID. And I mean, I keep saying that, but it feels like we're still in the middle of it. But you know what I mean? Post-fallout of all this stuff. It's been just a weird experience. I'm hoping we get to normal vanilla Disney in the next year. I'm hoping Disney kind of opens back up fully and has all the shows back up, and Disney World the 50th, maybe they, can enhance some of this stuff and make it a bigger deal. But I don't know. I mean, it's frustrating. As a Disney fan, it's frustrating right now. Don't get me wrong. It's still a fun time. I still go. Shoot, we're going here in October. But I remember, maybe it's nostalgia. I don't know. When I think of Disney, I think of it when I was like 15, 16 years old and things were so magical. And of course it still is, but yeah, I'm hoping things improve and we can get back to normal Disney and less cost-cutting measures. And shoot, I'd love to see them just blow a ton of money like they used to on stuff that they didn't need to. And everyone just goes, holy smokes, look at Disney flexing again, spending money like nobody's business and coming out with a crazy show. Look, when World of Color came out, I remember looking around going like, holy smokes, this is absolutely amazing. And I don't feel like that is the reception that these current shows are getting. So anyways, that's my rant over. The 50th looks fun. Make it out if you can. I know we're going to try. Even if the shows are less than stellar, the rest of the celebration looks fun. You can be part of history. Make it out for a 50th celebration. Disneyland's was amazing. I remember going. That was actually my first time going to the park ever in 2005, was during the Disneyland's 50th anniversary, and it was amazing. I got a bunch of 50th merch, and I still own it today. And yeah, so don't let my rant dissuade you from going. If you're planning on going, head out there. Maybe just use those show times as ride times. Less wait that way. So thank you so much for listening. I promise next week's episode will be more positive. I'll stop complaining about things and we'll talk about great things, and we'll look to kind of brighten your day versus bring you down. So thanks so much again for listening. You can find us on Instagram at Market House Podcast. Follow us there to see pictures of our trips and any kind of Disney news or announcements. We repost there and maybe add our thoughts on it. But thanks so much for listening. We will see you next week with another episode. Have a great one. See you next time.